In a world plagued by fear and corruption, emerged a man whose very name struck terror into the heart of all narcos. This is the legendary tale of El Marino Loko, the Marine who defied reason and became the nightmare of drug lords. Get ready to enter the dark realm of El Marino Loko, the Marine whose perverse enjoyment of videos and photos depicting his victims ignited the fury of the criminal underworld. Join us on an unforgettable journey as we explore the depths of El Marino Loko's sinister psyche and the dangerous game of cat and mouse that ensues. Prepare for shocking revelations and a gripping narrative that will keep you hooked until the very end. The drug trade is like a dangerous game where power and money drive everything, and the stakes couldn't be higher. It's literally a matter of life and death. The big shots at the top of the drug cartels will do anything to keep their position, and anyone who dares to challenge them gets sucked into this treacherous game. In this brutal world where killing is the way to climb the ladder, nobody is safe. Hitmen, bosses, law enforcement, innocent people, and even the families of those who cross a ruthless drug lord, they're all caught up in this violent mess. In times of desperation, when the stakes are high, even the authorities may resort to unconventional methods and adopt the very language and tactics used by the sicarios. And that's where El Marino Loko enters the scene, a figure both feared and revered. In 2010, El Marino Loko went viral due to his unorthodox methods of capturing sicarios, earning him a reputation that spread far and wide. Erick Morales Guevara, also known as El Marino Loko, grew up in a small town in northern Mexico that was overrun by dangerous cartels. It was a place where people lived in fear and violence was a daily reality. But Erick was different. Despite the temptations and pressure around him, he stood strong and said no to joining the cartels. Instead, he made a bold decision to dedicate his life to bringing down these narco criminals. He wanted to hit them where it hurt the most, to humiliate them just like they had humiliated innocent lives. Erick became a symbol of unwavering determination, a force to be reckoned with. His main target was the Gulf Cartel, the very organization that had brought so much destruction to his hometown. He saw them as a dangerous infection that threatened Mexico and its people. Erick was on a mission to dismantle the cartel and bring justice to those who had caused so much pain and suffering. However, in the last 2 decades, the Gulf Cartel has experienced a significant decline in both its size and profits, and El Marino played a pivotal role in this downfall. As far back as 2006, Erick's name began circulating among Navy officials, who raised eyebrows at his unconventional methods. Little did they know that Erick and his formidable team had already executed numerous arrests and executed massive seizures of weapons and narcotics from the clutches of the Gulf Cartel. By the time the 2010s rolled around, Erick had earned himself various monikers: El Marino Loko, the Fearless Marine, El Martillo, or even Mr. Thor, a name inspired by the weird tool he carried wherever he went. Now, this tool wasn't your typical hammer. It was a meat tenderizer, typically employed in the creation of delectable schnitzels. However, it had a different purpose for El Marino, a special weapon for dealing with resistant narcos. The mere mention of Mr. Thor's presence was enough to quell any thoughts of resistance. El Marino conducted several raids in the Tamaulipas and Nuevo Leon regions, earning recognition among both cartel members and civilians. In 2015, he was assigned to apprehend Comandante Toro, a prominent figure in the Gulf Cartel. Despite being abruptly transferred to Tampico, El Marino remained undeterred and launched a relentless campaign against Comandante Toro, disrupting his operations and seizing illegal substances. This provoked the ire of Comandante Toro, leading to violent confrontations with the Mexican army. Eventually, on April 22, 2017, Comandante Toro was killed in a gunfight. Prior to his death, he placed a significant bounty of 2 million pesos on El Marino's head, underscoring the threat he posed to the cartels. Meanwhile, operating from Tampico, El Marino escalated his raids with increasing aggression. One of his most notable operations involved the apprehension of Silvestre Jauro Rodriguez, also known as El Chive, the Tampico leader of the Gulf Cartel. El Marino forcefully entered El Chive's residence, arresting him, subjecting him to physical assault, and confiscating his father's ashes. He destroyed the photographs of his father, leaving a boldly written note on a picture of El Chive's father, proudly proclaiming the ashes as his own. This extreme humiliation struck at the core of a cartel kingpin's pride, as they expect unwavering fear and believe themselves immune to such acts of degradation. El Chive, utterly shocked by El Marino's daring show, found himself incriminated by the note left behind. The news of El Chive's arrest spread rapidly, along with images showcasing the considerable arsenal confiscated by El Marino from his residence. Despite surviving the ordeal, El Chive seethed with anger and humiliation. He promptly issued a hit order on El Marino, offering a reward of 3 million pesos to anyone who could deliver his enemy's head. In another incident, El Marino raided the house of El Mimido, a member of the Gulf Cartel. When he caught El Mimido, he didn't just arrest him. He decided to humiliate him in a really strange way. First, he punched him in the face. Then he made him wear sexy women's lingerie. But it didn't stop there. El Marino forced El Mimido to kiss his own gang members while he laughed and took their pictures. Now, here's the thing. Normally, there's nothing wrong with guys dressing up as women or guys kissing other guys. It's just personal preference and doesn't make someone less of a man. But in the screwed-up world of Mexican cartels, they have this strange idea that men have to be super tough and violent, and they can't show any emotion or be anything other than straight. So when El Marino treated El Mimido like this, he was basically playing by their rules and making the gang members do something they really hated. Then you have the problem of taking pictures of people while you're laughing at them and making them do terrible things. Unfortunately, over the past 20 years, cartels have made this sick practice pretty common. One cartel in particular, the CJNG New Generation Cartel, has gained notoriety for filming the brutal torture of their rivals and sharing those horrifying videos online. It's their messy way of showing everyone that they're the big bad guys and that no one should muddle them. Well, guess what? The Gulf Cartel does the same thing. So when El Marino made his men go through this humiliating ordeal, he was basically speaking their twisted language once again. El Marino Loko, the bold Marine, made headlines with his relentless hunt for the Gulf Cartel. His unorthodox tactics involved capturing and humiliating cartel members, often dressing them in women's lingerie and capturing the moments on camera. The Gulf Cartel retaliated by publicly accusing him and putting up banners with damaging allegations. This led the Mexican Navy to distance itself from El Marino, ultimately releasing him or relocating him to a different area. However, during this time, both El Chive and his brother Marco Antonio Rodriguez were apprehended, suggesting El Marino's significant contribution to their downfall. Despite a 5 million peso bounty on his head, El Marino's current whereabouts are unknown, with rumors circulating about retirement or involvement in an independent anti-drug group. According to the US Portal, there's a mention that he might have been kicked out of the Navy due to some shady stuff involving corruption and illegal activities. On the flip side, there are folks who claim they've seen El Marino still doing his thing, even going as far as starting his own undercover anti-drug squad. And here's an interesting tidbit that adds weight to this theory. In Michoacan, there have been reports of drug dealers getting nabbed while sporting women's undies, which was kind of El Marino's signature move back in his military days. Do you believe that El Marino is still out there, continuing his mission undercover, or has he retired or faced the consequences of his actions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories that make us question the world we live in. Thank you for watching.